Well, first I wanted to just publicly say thank you to our administration. If you guys haven't walked through the field house yet, we have, I think, one of the most beautiful Division I volleyball courts ever put together, and we're very excited to take that next step and to play on that court. We're going to use it in the field house the first part of the year, and then as we transition to the Baxter Arena, we'll be taking our court with us. So it was a nice transition. Most of these girls were able to be hostesses for the Olympic teams in the FIVB Challenge. And they got to see what the Olympic court looked like. And ours is the same court, just in black and white, pretty much. So we're very excited for that court. And that leads to our excitement into this season. As I'm sure most of the other teams have discussed, we're very excited for the fact that we are finally eligible to compete for a conference championship, for a berth into the NCAA tournament. And things could not have been set up better for us in terms of having all of our starters return and having a senior class that has really put in their time and their effort into developing and creating the foundation for this program.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders just being able to say that. Like, yes, I'm ready to not have to wait any longer, basically. Coming here from the first year, it was like a few media days ago. They're like, all right, well, still not through the transition yet. Are you ready for the season? Yeah. Well, this year is a bit different because the end-in result could be totally different, and we're ready for it to be different.
It's been nice to see that there's been a step-by-step process to getting us to this point. You know, the past year we doubled our wins from the year before, and we're able to make a step-by-step process versus thinking that we're going to come in and immediately be playing at the level that we want to be at to be competitive at the Division I level. We are extremely confident that we are ready to play and compete at this level. I think in terms of recruiting, I've always recruited hardworking blue-collar kids that want to come in here, roll their sleeves up, and get to work on the court and make things happen as a team. I don't think that demographic has changed. Maybe the height of the player, the size of the player, and their abilities, I think their starting abilities have changed considerably. And we've seen that as we've gone through. We've been able to attract better and better recruits and have those recruits come in and bring our program up, figuratively and literally. You know, so now we're being able to compete more at the net, which helps people like Kimberly in the back row. When you know, in the past we've had a lot of people hit over us. Now we're able to really, I think, control the net. So I have seen a lot of changes here with just the way the SAP Fieldhouse looks, the building of the Baxter Arena, what UNO is able to provide for its student athletes, and the support for the student athletes on this campus and in this city, I think have been a tremendous change, and I think well-deserved for these student athletes. They work very hard, and they are Division I athletes, and they're ready to compete.
I mean, it was a huge challenge in high school, working with nearly the same hitters for a couple of years, and then coming into completely new heights, tempos, basically everything. So that was challenging, but I think that we started to get the hang of it towards the end of the season, made a lot of progress in spring. Just kind of feeling the girls and what they want, and I think that's mostly what I learned, just communicating with them and figuring out what works and what doesn't work and getting on the same page, basically.
I think that there is a learning curve in that, both with the player-the-coach relationship, and with the remainder of the team, the hitters and their tempos and timings. What we saw with Sydney is we saw her grow as not only a setter, but an on-court quarterback and a leader of this program. So I feel very confident that she's our setter, and she's the person that's going to lead us into the conference championship.
Seeing it change, especially from like going out of my senior year of high school into a new program that was going D1, that was my dream, play D1 volleyball, of course. To see it change from my very freshman year to my 5th year now, it's I don't know, I just can't think of a better word, and not the most descriptive word, but cool. Like, it's just been really, I don't know, unique to see the transition up and down of the girls that have graduated to the kind of the peak of their careers, and then us to come in as a big group of freshmen, and then for us to slowly kind of climb up. And it has showed over the last few years, and especially around the community. Like, I go into Hy-Vee and wearing my Omaha stuff all the time. It's like half my closet. And they're like, oh, there's volleyball, when season starts, stuff like that. So people are opening their eyes to Omaha volleyball, especially to UNO as a campus. They walk around, they're like, whoa, it's not a commuter campus anymore. You're right. Yeah, you're so right. It's not. And so just the beauty of the campus and the beauty of the athletic department growing in all sports, and especially volleyball throughout the years, people are starting to open their eyes to it and really take notice. So,
well, I had Brazil, which was really cool. And since I'm a middle blocker, I really especially like to watch their middle blockers. Their play's a little higher than what we would normally see. They're blocking with their heads, not their hands. So, but it was really cool to see the quickness and just the athleticism that each player had. And I don't know, it was just really cool to like take what we saw from there and maybe incorporate in our game. Like, you know, the middle used this footwork, maybe that could work for me, or this is how she watched their setter move. And just kind of little things like that was really interesting to see, and how it might be able to help me improve my game. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
And then I had USA, so I got the luck of the draw. I don't know, maybe because I'm a fifth-year senior, I don't know. But I got the luck of the draw, and me and Elise Brown got to be hosts for USA. And so a dream in itself, like whether I'm going to be helping them as a host or just get to watch practice, whatever it was. But to be around them, get to watch their practices, especially their practices, because games, it's just all out. I mean, you're just watching the play back and forth. But to watch their practices, and especially to keep my eyes on like Caleb Anworth and just even the height of the defensive players, Kelsey Robinson and some of the other outsides, Carcillo, getting to watch them play and just how dynamic they are is just like, yeah, I'm that dynamic, or maybe not quite there yet, but the training that I've done this summer has, or especially in the spring, has gotten me to a higher point of like being more dynamic. And so the speed that they move at and just the control touches, whether it's with one arm or a complete platform, was just so cool to see. Like, it's so effortless for them, so I can only hope that I can get balls up for Sydney and to keep the offense running just like they do. So.
Our players got to be the hostesses for each one of the teams and go to their practices, sit literally just behind the bench for games, and they really, I think, kind of immerse themselves in FIVB volleyball. Mm-hmm. So, well, we're coaches and athletes. We want to win. We want to compete to win championships. And I would not want to be at a university, at a school where there isn't that in our hearts. I had a team in '96 that happened to have won a national championship, but I've had many teams that have had that in their heart. And I will tell you that these players, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with them on any line and say, these kids are ready to win a championship, and they have that in their heart. So to watch us as a program go from the pinnacle of Division II to a Division I program who is, I like to call us an emerging Division I program, and we are going to be making that climb. We have a ways to go, but we're not there yet, and I think the word is yet. But we're making our mark, and we have the right type of people in this program to make it happen. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter what the name on your shirt says. It matters how hard you play, and we want to be relentless. We want to be relentless in pursuit of our goals and in pursuit of the ball. And that's something that is ingrained in these kids' heart, and this is what they're going to put out on the floor.
Games like that Tennessee game where we walked up as UNO and they're Tennessee, the big guys on the other side, like, for me, that's why I came to UNO, because I came here to build a program, and people were not expecting us, in all honesty, to come out on top in that game. And that's what makes it fun. Like, that's what pushes us to play harder, to be better players. That's why we play, and that's why we work so hard, is specifically games like those, because people aren't expecting us to win those, and I think that's a huge motivating factor for us in this season specifically, and we just want to prove ourselves.